Hey, what's up, everybody? Jay Pounds here with Dynasty Owner. We got another weekly video for you guys, as always. This week, we're going to be going ahead and doing another buy, sell, and hold video. As I've mentioned before, this is kind of my way of being able to just cover everybody that is relevant in Dynasty Owner for you guys and just give you a broad sense of view on who you should be kind of rostering and who you should be looking to get rid of. That being said, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe if you're not, hit the notification bell. Um, Make sure you leave some comments. I promise you, if you comment on the videos, I will interact. I always try to talk to whoever is commenting on them, whether it be a good video or you asking a question, whatever it may be. I try to make sure I answer you guys. So feel free to comment, and it really helps out Dynasty Owner as well. Um, but nonetheless, let's get right into it, guys. These ones are kind of lengthy, so I try to get through them quickly, and it'll be no different this week or the weeks following. We have, oh man, I wish I knew how many days. 48 from the time of the release of this video. We'll have 48 days left until football. All right, first we got the buy for the Tennessee Titans. The first player we got here, let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, that's not how you do it, dummy. There we go. All right, as you see, first we got A.J. Brown. 2 years, $1.4 million. Obviously, A.J. Brown's a huge buy. Nobody's selling A.J. Brown. You don't sell young stud receivers. Yes, he is going to get a contract in 2 years. He's probably going to get paid early, in my opinion. I think the Titans lock him up and kind of stretch that deal out over an extra year and make it a little bit cheaper. But he will be expensive, so plan on that. But if you're going to go out and buy him, you better have the cap room to keep him, because it's kind of pointless and counteractive if you're not keeping AJ Brown after you just got rid of your precious draft capital to acquire him. And when you're buying these guys as a rebuilding team, you should have other owners' picks too. Make sure you're trading their picks away. If you're rebuilding, your picks are going to be premium, and you definitely want to have those in your back pocket. After A.J. Brown, we have Josh Reynolds, 1 year, $1.7 million. Reynolds he's nothing special. He's your Honda Civic if A.J. Brown's your Cadillac. And that's really about all I got. Basically, Reynolds is he'll be he'll hold value if Brown or Julio goes down. So you're buying them as a lottery ticket, like I always tell you guys to do on these players. He will probably be number 3 in the offense, but you never know what's going to happen in the NFL. I could definitely see the next guy here, Des Fitzpatrick, 4 years, $1 million, beating out Josh Reynolds. Josh Reynolds he's always played behind Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, so he's learned from very talented professional players, but he also never really shined. I don't want to make this a hate fest, because I have him as a buy. He doesn't jump off the page to me, is the best way I can explain it there. Fitzpatrick does have a chance of beating Reynolds, like I said, and if he does, he'll be the number 3 guy. And if, like I said again, if Brown or Julio goes down, either Fitzpatrick or Reynolds, one of these two got to step up. Either way, one of them are going to be the number 3 guy, but I don't know that I want the 3 guy in this offense. I think it's going to be very, very heavily focused on Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, and Julio Jones. After Des Fitzpatrick, we have Darrington Evans, 3 years, $1.1 million. Sorry, cat got my tongue. Tennessee has quite a few different backup options. Darrington Evans is just by far and away my favorite. Jeremy McNichols is one that can be in there too, and I didn't put him in the article just because I think it's Darrington Evans, and I feel strongly about that. he was there all year last year. I haven't heard anything negative about him out of camp or anything like that. So I feel like I think he's firmly locked into the backup role, and that's all you really need in Tennessee. You're not going much deeper than that. I doubt Darrington Evans even makes much of an impact this year with Derrick Henry there, but you never know. Injuries happen at inopportune times. Um, After Darrington Evans, we move to the Texans. We got Davis Mills, 4 years, 1.3 million. Um, excuse me. Davis Mills out of Stanford. The kid was highly projected coming out of college, and just never really panned out. He had an injury and just didn't look special. But that being said, he does have the pedigree. It could happen. I firmly believe Watson will never take another step in a Houston Texan uniform. And we'll go over that when we get into Watson. But that being said, one of these two guys got to start, either Davis Mills or the next guy here, Tyrod Taylor, at 5.5 million. As I mentioned with Davis Mills, it's wide open. Somebody has to take snaps in Houston. And like I just said, I don't think it's going to be Deshaun Watson. Um, I don't know who I have there, but you can go out and get both very cheap. And then guess what? You have a starting quarterback sitting on your rebuilding roster that you can move for good draft capital. Starting quarterbacks that are cheap do not come easy in Dynasty Owner. Don't give one of these two guys away easy if you have them. Make sure you use them to your advantage. That's what you got to do when you're a rebuilding owner. If you don't want this rebuild to take 4 or 5 years, you got to do these types of things. You can easily flip a team in an active league around in a year. If the league's not as active, 2 years. But you got to be doing the little things and earning these extra second round picks so you can take shots on guys like Chase Claypool that was in the second round of most drafts last year. Granted, we didn't have rookie drafts in Dynasty Owner last year, but if we did, that's where he would have went. After Tyrod Taylor, we have Phillip Lindsay. I am relatively high on Phillip Lindsay, probably higher than you are if you're listening. um, Not necessarily higher than everybody, but Melvin Gordon's a seasoned vet, and he didn't have a bad season last year, and Phillip Lindsay just kept plugging away. It just seems like the kid loves adversity. Now he's going into a running back room with an older David Johnson and, in my opinion, a washed up Mark Ingram. Um, I think it's going to be clearly Phillip Lindsay by the end of the year if he can stay healthy. Granted, David Johnson was not bad at all last year. He put up a solid fantasy season last season, but it's David Johnson. How many of you believe in David Johnson? Let's just put it that way. After that, we have Nico Collins, the rookie phenomenon, the Brian Edwards of 2021. That's what I'm calling Nico Collins here, the Brian Edwards of 2021. He's been getting hyped up all off season. He doesn't look like a rookie. He looks beyond his years. And I don't want to sound like I'm mocking it because I'd be really happy if that's the case because I have Nico Collins everywhere. I've been high on him since before he was drafted. I watch a lot of Big Ten football, being that I live in Cleveland Brown country, even though I'm a Steelers fan. But so I watch quite a bit of Michigan football, which is where Nico Collins played. Um, if these reports are true, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not necessarily sold that he's going to come out and just be lights out because he doesn't have a quarterback. And he is a rookie in the NFL. Things happen. Kids don't pan out. We'll see. That being said, I do like Nico Collins. If you can get him relatively cheap, I drafted him in the very, very end of the second round. I believe it was the last pick of the second round where I got him. In one of my leagues, the other one, I think it was right around the same area. So if you're gonna have to get rid of a future second, and maybe a a lotto ticket, as you guys should know that term if you've been watching me by now. Um, you might have to get rid of that to get a potential stud, and I think that's worth it every day of the week. After Nico, we got Reverend Jordan or Brevin Jordan. I'm really shocked that he went as late as he did. He was drafted in the 5th round, and it seemed like he was going to go high. It seemed like he was going to be in Fryermuth territory for a while, and then just out of nowhere, he was falling until he was in the 5th round. I don't understand it. He's going to be very cheap to acquire. The only person he's got to compete against really is Jordan Akins. So I'm taking all the shots on Brevin Jordan. If I can get him, and I'm rebuilding, I'm holding him. I might not have him on my contending rosters, but if I got a rebuilding roster, yeah, you better believe he'll be on it. After that, we got the Jaguars players, Mr. Trevor Lawrence, big time boy here, #1 draft pick, generational talent, as we've all heard numerous times, I'm sure by now. And he just fits on any rebuilding roster. You're going to have to pay a premium to get him. I'm warning you now. But he'll look good on your roster, that's for sure. If you're in dire need of assets, you can take this and flip it to a sell and sell them and get those. Like I just said, it was going to cost a haul to get them. Somebody will pay you a haul to get them. So if you really, if the cupboards are bare and you just need some help and you need some extra draft capital so you can try to swing a few things or even just to use, maybe you trade somebody like that. I don't know. That's up to you guys to decide. This is kind of an exercise in a vacuum. I can't answer it for each individual team. If you want me to, comment down below. After that, we got Gardner Minshew, 2 years, $677,000. I like Gardner Minshew just because he's playing. He's a proven veteran. We've seen him do it, and he's behind a rookie. Yes, that rookie happens to be Trevor Lawrence, who's a generational talent, but I feel he's one of the top backups in the league by far. If a starter goes down, an important starter on a playoff team, I feel like they're going after Jimmy G or Gardner Minshew. I don't see any other quarterbacks that they're going after before those two. After Gardner, the mustache, Minshew, we have Travis Etienne, 4 years. I almost said that wrong. 4 years, $3.2 million, not 2.2, $3.2 million. Basically, is ETN the secret winner after the Akers news? I hate to talk about injuries that way, but it's part of fantasy football, so that it is what it is at this point. I wish Cam Akers the best, and I hope he has a speedy recovery, and I can't wait to see him back on the football field. But that being said, ETN may end up being the secret winner here. I've heard a lot of James Robinson to the Rams talk. I don't know if there's actually been any NFL talk about that, or if it's just a fantasy community hoping and praying. But if that's the case, it's wheels up for Travis Etienne. After Etienne, we got DJ Chark, 1 year, $1.1 million. I am standing firm on DJ Chark going into 2021. If he stays healthy, he's going to be at minimum wide receiver 2. I don't think he gets wide receiver 1 territory this year, but I think he's going to be in the wide receiver 2 range, no problem. I'm going to stand firm on that. Like I said, it's just, I believe in the talent. We were all comparing him to Adrian Green last year, and he was just hurt. Nagging injuries really slow people down sometimes, and they have down years. You can get DJ Chark somewhat cheap, but I will say if you want to get him to keep him, you better clear some Kenny Galladay cap space, because that's about what it'll cost you, in my opinion. After DJ Chark, we got Laviska Shenault, 3 years, $1.9 million. I love the talent of Laviska Shenault. He reminds me of a Curtis Samuel type, but better. He's not as matured yet, And Curtis Samuel had a heck of a year last year, so we'll see if he's actually better or not. But in my opinion, he's more talented. I should have said that instead of better. Um, and then Urban Meyer goes out and drafts Travis Etienne to do what Laviska Shenault was literally born to do, to play this hybrid role. And I don't know what to do, what to make of it. Maybe they trade James Robinson. If James Robinson goes to the Rams, it boosts absolutely everybody. Visca gets a boost. Chark probably gets a little bit of a boost. Because ETN's not taking this receiving work that Urban Meyer's talking about. Robinson gets a huge boost. Obviously, ETN gets a huge boost. It's then maybe Colin Johnson, as you see next, maybe he gets a boost because he takes these. He gets the clear cut third receiving role now, it would have such a big domino effect. I love the idea, and I really hope there's some truth to it. After that, we got Colin Johnson. I wrote in the article about Colin Johnson's game last year where he absolutely toasted the Cleveland Browns. 19.6 fantasy point, dynasty owner point. Sorry, such a habit to say fantasy instead of dynasty owner. I'm working on it. I'll get it fixed for you guys. I'll be better. Don't worry. But like I said, 19.6 dynasty owner points, toasted the Cleveland Browns. I just can't pass it up. It's an opportunity to dog the Browns. I got to do it right now. They're too good. They're too good. I will say that they're solid. I'm interested to see Baker Mayfield this season, though, but we'll save that talk for another day. After Colin Johnson, Luke Farrell, I'm not going to talk much about this. I'm staying away from the tight end room, but I wanted to put at least one on there, and it happens to be Luke Farrell. Good luck with the Jacksonville tight end room if you guys decide to indulge in it. For the Colts, we got Jacob Eason. I'm basically buying Eason because Carson Wentz is there. We've seen what Carson Wentz did last season. It was ugly. He got benched for a rookie, Jalen Hurts. Eason's got a year under his belt. I don't know how talented he is. He looked all right in college, but we'll see. I don't know that they don't give Wentz the entire season, no matter how he looks, to try, but Eason's always a solid choice if you want a lottery ticket for a potential starter as a quarterback. Find them in battle starting veterans and get their backups and hope some magic happens for you. After that, we got Jonathan Taylor. I usually say to stay away from running backs. Jonathan Taylor's 22. He's at 3 years, $1.9 million. Beautiful contract. He ate up defenses at the second half of last year. You'll hear at Knox that it was a cupcake schedule. The kid's got a dominant offensive line. It took him a little bit to figure it out, in my opinion. He's going to tear it up. Buy Jonathan Taylor, trust me. Michael Pittman, 3 years, $2.1 million. If Carson Wentz does regain anything close to his MVP form, Michael Pittman is going to be an extreme value for all of our dynasty owner startups. If you go out and get him now, he will be a value for whatever you pay for him right now. It will be a value in a couple months. Just buy Michael Pittman. That's all I can say. This kid is talented. He had some injuries last year. I think that he was a little bit of a slow learner. And I just think he's going to have a great second year. As long Wentz is the key here. So if you believe in Wentz, Michael Pittman is a must-have. Paris Campbell, 2 years, 1.1. He is shown to be injury prone at this point, so you're going to get him very, very cheap. But the talent is still there. He looked good in the couple games that he appeared in last season. I should have looked that stat up. I don't know why I didn't. I apologize for that. I can't remember if it was 1 or 2 games that he played in last season, but he was phenomenal. Not phenomenal, but he looked very, very good when he was on the field. So if he can stay away from injuries, it's a perfect player for rebuilding owners to have. After that, we got Kylan Granson, 4 years, $1 million. Every tight end in the Colts tight end room right now is a buy. And I'm going to talk about these three guys: Granson, Mo Alley Cox, 1 year, $3.3 million. Jack Doyle, 2 years, $7.1 million. I'm going to talk about all three of these guys together just because this tight end room is wide open. Whoever gets it is going to get fed. Carson Wentz loves throwing to the tight end, and he's going to continue to do it. Frank Reich was his offensive coordinator in Philly. He threw to the tight end when he was there. He's going to do it again in Indianapolis. Roster a couple of these guys if you can. At least one of them. If you are rebuilding, get one of these guys and then flip them later this season for draft picks. After that, we got our holds. The only Titan we got on the list, Anthony Firkser, 1 year, $3 million. I have Firkser as a hold simply because I just want to see what happens with him. He looked all right in the games. Jonnu Smith was hurt last year, and I just want to see if he can keep it up beforehand. That way I can get a little bit more value out of him. I did trade him on my team actually already a month ago maybe, and I got a second round pick out of him, so I was happy with that. I'm pretty tight end rich there. I got Goddard, Kelsey, Troutman, and I believe one other guy. I'd have to look. So I wasn't too worried about an Anthony Firkser on a 1 year, $3 million deal. After that, we got the Texans. Deshaun Watson. I don't think he ever plays with the Texans again. And I just want to put it this way for anybody that wants to, think about it and debate about it. All of the trouble that he is in right now, why would he go through the headache of saying, I am never playing for the Texans again while he's got 22 lawsuits against him if he was going to play for the Texans again? You wouldn't want that added drama. You would just be like, oh, yeah, I'll be back. I'm going to stop talking about that. Let's get that out of the way. But no, he has been adamant about it. Don't see it happening. If things do work themselves out for him, which I hope they do, I hope none of this is true. I just for the sake of everything, I hope none of that's true. But I hope to see, if like I said, if none of that is true, we will see Watson back in the league, but I don't believe it'll be for the Houston Texans. Once he's cleared, a team will trade for him at that point. But until then, it's kind of a wait and see. Sorry, my allergies are getting to me right now. After that, we got Brandon Cooks, 2 years, $16.2 million. As much as I want to tell you guys to buy Brandon Cooks, I can't. He's way too expensive. He's borderline sell because of his contract and no Deshaun Watson right now. But he should be the clear-cut number one guy in Houston. So if he can get some type of functional quarterback play, he'll be solid, and you may be able to trade him. After that, we got Kiki Kuti, 1 year, $700,000, basically $800,000. He's nothing spectacular. Solid player. He's going to be a bench player for you 99% of the time. You might have to plug and play him here and there, and he may get you a boom week. But other than that, you put him on your bench, get the 25% of his big weeks, and deal with the bad ones. Like I said, it's only 25%. After that, we got Jordan Akins, 1 year, $800,000. Akins is somebody I'm telling you guys to hold on to, but I'm biased. I've always just wanted to see this guy blow up for some reason, and he's basically 30 years old. He's not going to break out, and I'm just not going to give up hope, though. After that, we got Jaguars, James Robinson. As I said earlier, if he happens to get traded to the Rams or somewhere that needs a running back, I'm not going to go through the list of teams or anything like that. But if he gets traded somewhere that he's the clear-cut number one guy, it opens up a whole another level of things. I've talked enough about it. I'm not going to get too far into James Robinson, so let's move on. After James Robinson, we have Dare Ogunbowale, 1 year, $850,000. Had the Jaguars not taken ETN, he'd probably be a buy right now because I feel like he'd be the clear-cut number two even with Carlos Hyde there, I still feel like Ogunbowale would be the clear cut number two. He really proved himself in the last two games of 2020. I loved what he had to show, and I think he's got a lot to offer if he can stay healthy and if he gets an opportunity. But for now, he's a hold, and you hope he gets a new contract next year somewhere else where he gets an opportunity. After that, we got Marlon Mack, 1 year, $2 million. He's another candidate for the Rams. He's coming off of, coincidentally, I believe, an Achilles injury, but could fit in with the Rams. I don't see him having much of value with the Colts. I think he more took it, kind of work himself back into shape, and then go back as a free agent next offseason. So for now, he's a hold. After that, we have Zach Pascal, 1 year, 3.3 million. I mentioned in the article. I remember somebody last year in the live stream. They're like, "Oh, Pascal's going to be the number one wide receiver overall," and we all had a good chuckle about it and said it was a bold prediction. And now we see why. But now that we look back a year later, I think he's nothing but a hold. Let's see if he can carve out a role with the Colts and maybe get extended. And if he does, then maybe you can excuse me, then maybe you can trade him or you keep him on your roster, as a wide receiver three or a flex option or a bench player. After that, we got the sell Titans Julio Jones, 3 years, 22 millions, 22 millions, $22 million. Julio is a sell for me just because of his age. Today on the live stream, Steve said he doesn't see a chance, Julio having a chance to be a top 10 wide receiver. While I do agree he's not going to be a top 10 wide receiver, I don't think there's no chance at all. Julio was excellent last year in the games he played. In my opinion, I could see him being a top 15 wide receiver. And, maybe if A.J. Brown went down and Julio stayed healthy, then yes, I could see a top 10 finish for him. But I think Steve called that one there. No top 10. I don't know how adamant he was, like, about how low he wanted to go there, but for sure no top 10 there. I'd have to agree with that one. Um, I don't think you're getting much of trade value out of him either, and at at best maybe a second rounder, and that's probably if you hold him for a little bit and he starts, or that's probably if you trade him right now. I mean, if you hold him for a little bit and he starts producing, you're probably not going to get anything for him unless you eat a terrible contract in return because nobody has cap space when it comes time to the season. They probably don't have cap space right now, but they might be willing to cut some of these players now that once the season comes, it's just different. After that, we got Derrick Henry. I know I say this every week. I hate putting players like Derrick Henry on the sell list. It sucks. I love Derrick Henry. He he's just phenomenal. At 4 years and 12.5 million, you don't need that contract on your rebuilding roster, especially with his age, guys. Running backs don't age well. You don't want that on your roster. If I'm a Derrick Henry owner and I'm rebuilding right now, I'm calling the Cam Akers owner and I'm getting a deal done. He's going to have to pay me very well for it, especially if he's contending. But I'm getting a deal done. That's all I can say on that one. After that, we got the Texans. Randall Cobb. I'm not talking about Randall Cobb. 3.2% of you own him. If you own him, get rid of him. David Johnson, 1 year, $5 million. Had a solid year last year. But if you're a rebuilding owner, you have zero business having David Johnson on your roster. If anything, trade him for Philip Lindsay, and he's younger. After that, we got Mark Ingram. As I said earlier, I think Mark Ingram's done. He just had a really bad year last year. I just don't see at his age. I don't see him having this sudden resurgence. After that, we got Jaguars. Carlos Hyde, 2 years, 2.2 million. Again, another domino of the Travis Etienne effect. It just, man, it killed everybody, didn't it? That's about all I got on Hyde. Sell him if you can. Marvin Jones, 2 years, 6.2 connected there. My internet had a little bit of a goof. But as I was saying, Marvin Jones, he's getting some hype right now. And I believe in, I think it's going to be Visca and Chark when it's all said and done. Yes, Marvin Jones is a great veteran presence for Trevor Lawrence, but Visca and Chark are too talented. That's about all I go there. And Marvin Jones is 31. If you're a rebuilding owner, you just don't need him on your roster. Trade him. After that, we got the Colts. Carson Wentz, 4 years, 32 million. Big contract, questionable quarterback. Not a good combination to get a good amount in trade, but go ahead and try. If you can get something for him, off you go, Carson. After that, we got Naheem Hines, 1 year, 800,000. Hines had a very, very good season last year. I shouldn't say very, very good, but he had a solid season last year. But people don't remember, or people want to forget, Phillip Rivers targets the running back an insane amount. Phillip Rivers is gone. Now he's got the tight end lover, Carson Wentz. And I just think Jonathan Taylor takes another step forward, and we see Hines take a little bit of a step back. And then last but not least, we have T.Y. Hilton, 1 year, $8 million. Same thing with Marvin Jones. T.Y. Hilton's old. If you're rebuilding, you don't need old people on your roster. Trade them for young people or draft picks. That's all I got for you today, guys. Get rid of the oldies. Get the young guys in, old guys out. Remember that when you're rebuilding. But like I said, that's all I got for you. Make sure you guys are watching Matt and Steve's videos as well. Make sure you guys like those videos, comment on those videos. It helps out Dynasty Owner a ton. Don't forget about the affiliate program. $10 every person you refer to Dynasty Owner. That's free fantasy football every year, guys. You can pay your Dynasty Owner fees off with that and just play for free. Just keep inviting people. I know you guys got a lot of friends. You guys are cool people because you play Dynasty Owner. So tell all of them about it. Till then, I'm out, guys. We'll talk to you next week. Good luck on your 2021 chase for the ring.